Hello, all. How are you doing this wonderful afternoon? As you know, I am Charles King, and I am the actual creator of the podcast America in Black and White. I'd like to thank each and every last one of you for being here with me. For those that are here, I decided to do this special live because I felt that as we're getting into voting season and as we are actually, for everyone that's exercising all of their rights, just I wanted to remind people of a few things. So as you do go and vote, that you please take these things in consideration and just be mindful of a whole lot of different things. Well, first of all, let me get into your civil rights. As far as your civil rights, we know that it's a fact that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and 1965 um, were the rights that were given to all of us that were non-white, that gave us the authority to vote. In order to get to that place, the historical factor that we all know of is that people did many things to get to that point. A lot of people died for those rights. And for those things, for the things that that our ancestors had to go through to get to that point. That means that it is that they felt that there was that there was comfort, or there was some things that we could have been doing, in order to get ourselves to a point in which we could, just be here to, um, be a part of what takes place today in today's world and society. Well, in that bill that was passed in Civil Rights Act, both 1964 and 1965, it gave us the rights to, um, to be treated fairly and equal when it comes to everything that we did in our everyday lives. That is from um, land ownership, um, to wherever we wanted to live, and also, just to name a few. I'm just naming a few things, but also, that is, bearing arms, um, that is, free speech, all of those things, even though they were part of the Constitution. But for those that were non-white, we had to actually, um, in order for those to be enforceable, the bills that was passed via that Congress is what gave us these rights. Mm. Forgive me for being a little bit tired here. Just been working a whole lot. But also, the thing that really matters most is the voting rights. Um, and at these times right now, we know that, especially being non-white, that democracy being on the line means that our lives are on the line. And so, if democracy is on the line, then what we have to do and what we should be doing is we should actually be looking at all the many million and one things, that we stand for, what we believe in, and what we should be doing. So if you have a right to vote, if you got the right to vote, then that means that you should exercise that right. And it does not matter who you choose to vote for, because your vote is your vote. The only thing I would ask is that, when you think about, especially if you're someone that looks like me, and you think about where our lives are and where they could be going, I hope you guys make the right decision. as to the person that you cast your vote for. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I'm here to tell you that whatever you decide to do, you do it. But what I want to do is I want to point out some things to you because I think it's more than just important for people to know that, these falsities or these falsehoods, these false lies, these false stories that are going around, the internet. I want us to be a little bit more informed about those things. First of all, the first thing I want you guys to know is that when the 2020 election took place, Joe Biden won the election. In the process of winning the election, it was held up, because Trump was refusing to give in and, things of that nature. We all know that story. So when he actually had that opportunity to just do the right thing, he chose not to. He chose to engage in an insurrection against the US government. And when he chose to do that insurrection against the US government, that was not just an attack on the federal government. That was an attack on each and every individual that's here in this country, those that were born and are free people. With that being said, this man had already destroyed the economy. Need it be said that under that administration, I call him an occupier because he definitely was not a president. But this man occupied the White House for 4 years, and for 4 years did but one thing, and that is sign a bill that would do a tax cut for the top 1% in this country, put us in a deficit of trillions of dollars with this tax cut, and felt like that was the best thing in the world. Now, this is the same man that tried to destroy the Affordable Health Care Act, where he was willing to kick millions of people off health care. Again, he was trying to repeal the Affordable Health Care Act, and he failed. He failed. They tried to do this at least 70 times. But that final time when he got close to doing it, the only thing that saved the Affordable Health Care Act was Senator John McCain. John McCain was the very last vote to determine yay or nay, and he was against that. And it kept the ACA intact and where it is right now to this point today because somebody else realized he's a Navy veteran just like myself that realized that everybody has the right to health care. Everybody has the right to health care. Now, as this goes on and this young man tries to go and besides to repeal the Affordable Health Care Act, remember that before President Obama left the White House, he had got us into a trade deal with a lot of these other countries. It was something that was a whole lot better than that deal that Bill Clinton got us in, with NAFTA. This was not as big, but what it did is it was going to allow America to have free trade with all of these other up and coming countries that were basically doing everything possible to keep down, the pollution of the air, the pollution of the water. Everything was really, it was basically about, being clean in that energy. but also it just kept things the way they're supposed to be. Well, um, on day one of the occupiers' space of going into the Oval Office, he repealed that. He got us out of that. We were in the climate control agreement bill with other free leading countries, um, as to the quality of air and so forth. Trump took us out of that. So basically, the main things that's going forward that, was going to be a good thing for us in this country. The occupier tried to make it as worse as he possibly could. He did that. But in the process of doing that, did he really think that people were really going to be as slow moving on the things that he was trying to do? The answer to that question is no, because what he has done is he's gotten America in worse situations than any of us could ever imagine. Now it's gotten so bad now that um, prior to the Biden administration having to clean up all of the mess of those 4 years. Now they've had to come back and they've tried to do everything to get the economy stimulated. In the process of getting it stimulated, of course, we had to go through inflation. Um, we were pretty close to a recession where most people, including myself, I say that we were in a recession. But the Biden Harris administration did a wonderful job of bringing us out of that. Now, if you remember under the Trump administration, Trump did not create positive job flow at all. He reaped the benefits of the Obama administration by having a continuous influx in jobs that increased here in the country. He continued. That's what President Obama did. Trump was the beneficiary of that. And under Trump, we continued to lose hundreds of thousands of jobs, even up to into the millions per quarter. Nobody is mentioning that. So we know two things. We know that one, this man cannot and has not been a leader, been a world leader, been a leader on the stage where he can represent this country. Besides, if you draft a if you're a draft dodger, how can you lead the country? But at any rate, this man has has shown that he does not have the wherewithal to actually make things happen. If we continue to lose jobs, when Biden took over, we were actually way down in the dumps when it came to providing jobs and getting people back out there to working and building the economy. So, in that whole process, while that's going on, if he loses jobs like he did before, if he made this tax cut, which caused us to go into trillions of dollars worth of debt that they keep screaming and lying about on these commercials about what Joe Biden has done, and if we're listening to that and not understand that that is not the case, then we're going to be in a real bad state of affairs. Under Joe Biden, when he took office in 2020, he has had a continuous growth in job production. That's every quarter of every year. No other president has had it as continuous as he has and has maintained a 3.4% unemployment rate. And again, I said 3.4% unemployment rate, which is excellent. It's excellent. You cannot get any better than that. So there's nothing wrong about doing that. If that's a problem, then I need somebody to go into that chat because you guys are allowed to do questions. You can ask me any question that you like here in the chat, and I will definitely answer it. But when we talk about real, we need to talk about real. This was never about anything else but the rich getting richer. So going back to even with the Small Business Administration, we're going to go where Obama made strides after cleaning up Bush's mess. Donald Trump, again, reduced all the strides that was made. I want you guys to forgive me because I'm really, really, I'm working on films, but it's important that I have this discussion because I want everybody to just be aware before they go and cast a vote. And so, just with me talking about your rights, the other thing I forgot because I want you guys to forgive me because I'm jumping all over the place here. But when we talk about your voting rights and things of that nature, now I want you to know that it is unconstitutional for anyone to try to walk into the place where you vote and to stand there and watch you vote. That is illegal. They cannot do that. If they did that, the polling place needs to get them out. That's what I said, it needs to get them out. You cannot take firearms to a polling place to vote. You cannot do that. Now, where I am here in Georgia, it just started early voting last Tuesday. Now, in that process of early voting, you know, there's hundreds of thousands of votes that's already been casted. I recommend people early vote because when you early vote, what you do is you alleviate the stress and the pressures of having the same day vote and standing in lines that would be astronomically long. That's going to cause you a problem. So, as I said before, no one can walk into the place with you when you go and vote into your little voting booth while you're voting because that's infringing on your rights. No one has a right to do that. People can't come up to you while you're standing in line getting ready to vote to try and intimidate you. If they do, you need to do something about that because they cannot do that. Um, at any rate, as I say, um, you guys have to make that right informed decision, but I'll just tell you that the Biden Harris administration is doing wonders when it comes to our country and the things we have to do. So what you have to understand is that um, as this takes place, you guys have to make this decision. How do you want to live the rest of your life? Do you want to live your life where you're being treated as less than under a dictatorship, or work through the problems we have with the democracy? I think we should try to work through these things, and I think that we should handle them accordingly. My thing is, the Biden Harris administration has done a wonderful, wonderful job for this country of getting things set to this stage, to this point. I can't see anyone doing a better job than her. She's not a perfect candidate, but she's a good candidate. So I say to you all, when you go to the polls, please go there with a purpose, go there with intentions. When you cast your vote, you cast your vote. But I just hope you don't cast your vote for the wrong person. So, where are we? Where do we stand? Are you guys going to make this a good thing, or are we going to make it a bad thing? Now, this is why I say we got two options, because if we're voting for democracy, then you're going to be voting for Kamala Harris. If you're voting for Kamala Harris, that means that you see that there's light at the end of the tunnel and there's definitely a way out. But if you're voting for Trump, then you're voting for oppressionists. You're voting to have everything that you do be controlled and told what you can and cannot do by an individual. Now, it's gotten so bad now that for this man that, you know, I'm still trying to figure out who these black men for Trump are, because the Central Park Five is suing him again because he is still running around with that lie, spreading that lie that they attacked that woman in Central Park when they did not do that. He went to him. Well, they went to him, and he was told that not only was he being sued, but even when he met one of them in a spin room after the Harris debate and said that and asked the guy if he was for him because he didn't recognize him, the guy told him, "No, I'm not for you." And he walked off, you know, and waving his hand like this, So just at any rate, you know, um, that man is not credible. All the stuff that he has done, I hope that the justice system will hold him liable for the things that he has done. And all of us, as the everyday citizens, will hold him accountable for the things he have done by not voting him back into office. So I say to you all, especially here in Georgia, early voting has started ever since last Tuesday. Please, please go and vote. I mean, they're open. They're going to be open 7 days a week. Today is Monday. This is this. This is the second week of early voting. It's going to be open 7 days a week. Find the precinct. Find a precinct that's close to you and vote. Please vote. I've already decided that I was endorsing Kamala Harris. I've already early voted and I voted for Kamala Harris. I can say that proudly. I believe she's going to win. I know she's a winner, but there's no way I could vote against my interests. So, with that being said, I want to thank each and every last one of you for your time. Uh, we didn't get any questions, which is okay. But I want to tell you all this. This Friday, October 25th, I will do another live at 2 p.m. That live is going to tell you guys a lot about America in black and white. That's my show. Ooh. As I tell you all about the show, well, I just want to make sure that you guys know the ins and outs and how you can get on the show. I am actually going to get off of here now because I've got to go and get me some rest. But I want to thank you guys at least for just listening to the video, leaving me some comments if you decide to. But I just want you all to know that I'm for us being present. So if you get the chance, just leave me those comments and I will definitely um, like to thank you guys and just move on forward and just get things taken care of. You guys have a great evening. Talk to you then.